Hi guys, and welcome back to our channel. Apologies for the slightly earlier upload today, but I wanted to get on with some other things on stream. The stream is redditanalyst.df on Twitch TV. So if you are watching this as it's uploaded, feel free to join me in that stream. Today we're talking about the LEC and the LCS. I will not be covering the TSM drama with their new roster because basically I'm not an LCS LEC channel, and so many other people have already covered this, and they do it better. They have more time to edit, and also they have bigger channels, so it's not really worth it. So we'll start off just reacting to some of the games in LEC. I got only two games wrong, which were both Mad Lions games. Um, Mad Lions, well, against G2, G2 just basically fucked draft, and the game was unwinnable from there. And then against Misfits, it was just the wrong Mad Lions to bank on, honestly, which is a bit sad. But otherwise, it was a pretty good week for my predictions. G2 do look pretty poor. A bit concerned on that front. Um, in terms of my predictions, because I will probably still predict them to win a couple of games in the coming weeks. Um, so yeah, let's go on to looking at the LEC games from this week. So we start off with XL versus Astralis. And Astralis, I still think are in the tier where they could just barely make playoffs, but XL are like still at the moment top four. With the week break, it'll be kind of interesting to see how teams have developed because some teams would have improved. Like I expect G2 to have broken their shit form from the last two games, or even really the last 2 weeks. As soon as they got out of Super Week, they started playing pretty poorly. But it'll be interesting to see how that affects the teams. Excel Astralis, I think Excel should win. I think there's a bit too much of a step up for Astralis in terms of ability right now. Um, but I wouldn't be too surprised if Excel start losing steam as a whole. This week they should definitely be looking to go 2-0 because they're playing two of the weaker sides. But, you know, BDS Mad Lions, I don't see BDS beating another team. I think the G2 game, I think it was fair to predict them because it's G2 shit, but I don't think they're going to win a game on their own steam, and they'd have to win a game on their own steam. I have a really shit trim right now. Anyway, I think Mad Lions are going to beat BDS. Um, Misfits versus Fnatic, I think it's fair to say that Fnatic are going to win. I just love Fnatic's bot lane. DTO is a really good player, and I love him a lot, but like, I just prefer Upset Hilly versus any other bot lane in Europe. I don't really think you could tell me anything else about Fnatic that could ever make me hate their team and not think they were one of the best teams, even with Hilly and Upset. Like, you could put me mid lane. Bear in mind, like, I'm a decent support. I'm like a challenger support, but I'm a shit mid laner. You could put me mid, and like, they would still be in my mind a decent tide. Like, I'm probably like a plat mid laner. Like in my mind, they'd still be good. So I think it's very hard to convince me otherwise that Fnatic are going to lose this game. But yeah, G2 SK. I think G2 should recover. I think they should win this, but there is a caveat that they might not have recovered and they might be mentally boomed and they'd just be fucked the rest of the season. I think it'd be very interesting to see them, especially in the Misfits game, because if they lose to Misfits, then it's like, okay, that's season over. That's just season gone. But yeah, I think G2 should beat SK. Vitality Rogue, I still think Vitality have room to improve. I think depends on what they're going to do with their jungler situation still, because they've still got three junglers. I still think Haru's getting overly flamed. I think Haru's a really, really good player for NLC sort of tier, but he's not LEC caliber yet. I mean, the fuck are you doing poaching a Korean jungler from the NLC? Like, the NLC isn't even a strong region within the ERLs. But yeah, I think personally I'm going to go for Rogue winning this again. I think Rogue have hit their potential a bit more. They're a BO1 sort of side. Vitality kind of suck. I actually know where Rogue are on the table. They're currently joint top. That makes sense. Sorry, I was trying to work out if they were joint top or just below joint top. Yeah, so I think Rogue should win this. I think they should be favored. XL versus SK. I sort of said earlier, I think XL should be getting a 2-0 week this week. Again, they've got SK who are one of the weaker sides. I don't see any reason why SK should beat XL, other than maybe XL mentally booming themselves or being found out after this week's break because they're not particularly they're not that solid. They sort of have like a one-track mind and they're like not the strongest team in the world. But you know, it's hard to see who will win. I'm not particularly sold on this XL team, despite them being joint first. But I do think they'll beat SK and Astralis. Sorry, yeah, SK and Astralis. Mad Lions versus Astralis. Again, I think Mad Lions are just going to have a bit too much for Astralis. This could be an interesting game if Mad Lions shows up, especially if they're going to play BDS earlier in the week, and you'd expect the good Mad Lions to show up for that game. Personally, I think we're gonna see Mad Lions win this. I can't predict it the other way, but like there is definitely a world in which Astralis win the game. If Armut doesn't show up, for example, Mad Lions tend to look really weak. If Kazi, is it Kazi? My brain is actually so fucked. Like I'm a year behind on rosters sometimes. If Armut, Elyoya, and Kaiser do not show up, that's who I was thinking. Armut, Elyoya, and Kaiser. I don't know why I went Kazi. Like at least go Unforgiven, right? I don't know. My brain is just so fucked. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, I think Mad Lions win this. But there is a world in which they don't. Rogue Astralis, I think Rogue should just comfortably win this. If they lose to a Vitality, I think you can expect this to be a quick smash as Rogue recover. Odo is just way too strong for this league. We're not worthy of him. Larson's a strong player. I think Rogue should win this comfortably. G2 Misfits, I'm going to predict G2 to win this because I think they'll have recovered from their mental boomage last week. But like at the same time, G2 are an insanely flawed team. VTO can carry in BO1s, so I wouldn't be too shocked if Misfits get a win. And it pisses me off that we still have BO1s at this point in the world, but they're never going to go for BO3s, so I'm not going to build on that too much. But yeah, I think G2 should win, but I wouldn't be shocked at all if Misfits win. And I think I partially got a slight bias that G2 should win because Misfits have looked pretty meh this spring split, and summer split, and they looked awful in spring playoffs. But like obviously they are actually a pretty decent side. Although yeah, I don't know. They have issues. Fnatic Vitality again. Building on what I said earlier, I think Fnatic are a really, really, really strong side. I think the only world in which Vitality win is if all their pieces come together and they show us what their real potential is. But I don't see that happening. So I think Fnatic are going to win. Okay, so we'll go on to LCS, which I'm combining with LEC because like I just have way too many like issues. Like sorry, not too many. I want to focus on LJL and like putting them together means that I get this content out, but it means that I don't have like too many issues. Okay. TSM EG. I said EG have better individuals. I was right. They also have a better organization, and they have nicer coaches, and they have nicer people, and they're just TSM don't deserve to win another game this season. No disrespect to the players, but their org does not. Um, yeah. The games I didn't get right, I think. Yeah. Wait, did I just? This is the game I didn't watch. Um, I watched the others. I don't know why. I've duplicated whatever. My my spreadsheet's all wrong. Team Liquid still haven't learned their lesson. Cloud9 are no longer the bully team. I don't know how I picture them quite yet right now. I pictured them as this team that was like, okay, you're not going to make a world slot. You're not in contention for a world slot if you lose to C9. But now I just do not know. It's really hard to work out. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I can say for that. It's not too much to think about. Okay, anyway, let's go on to the games and just talk about those. I have no clue what the games are looking like. Week 4, 100 Thieves versus FlyQuest. I am not predicting 100 Thieves. I am yet again going for FlyQuest because I do not believe you deserve validation for playing like a sinner and being dog shit. Yeah, that's basically my only reason. Like, 100 Thieves are probably the strongest team in my mind, but like, I'd rather see FlyQuest win this because they're not sinners. I think 100 Thieves are like they're doing well for themselves, but they're not like insanely. They're not doing insanely well. They tend to fall off as the season goes on and people work out how they play again. Um, but it's fucking hard, dude. NA is just such a shit show that 100 Thieves could totally win the whole season. Dig versus EG. I'm going to say again, EG, like I did with when they played TSM, I think they have better individuals. I think they're a stronger overall roster as well. Dig are like really struggling with the fact that Gumsu's still pretty much an Overwatch league, and they are just a one-man team with Maple. Not Maple, River. Sorry, my bad. Getting imports the wrong way around. But yeah, that's all I have to say with that game. Cloud9 and TSM, I think Cloud9 should comfortably win this. I think they'll be out for revenge after losing to FlyQuest in the last week. Also, TSM's roster's all fucked. Like, they said that Mia's gonna... No, they said that their... Chime is arriving in week 5 in the post from the general manager, but they play in week 4, and they've already said that Mia's dropped to the academy, so you don't even know what support they're playing with. On top of that, I think that the roster switches are just going to mean that they're not looking very good, and they're playing with 2 academy players that are playing in one of the worst academies in North America. When it's definitely not down to players' faults, they have not been a good academy roster for a while. I think it's very hard to say who's going to win the game. Sorry, I think it's very hard to see them win a game. That's what I meant. CLG versus Immortals. I think CLG should definitely have the roster difference. I think our Immortals are probably the weakest team in North America, other than maybe TSM. I mean, I was thinking Golden Guardians were down there as well, but actually they're not that doing too badly for themselves. I actually kind of like the Golden Guardians roster, but like I don't think they're doing that. I don't think they're that good, and I really hate the sticks they pick up. But yeah. Anyway, TL Golden Guardians. I think, as you can just allude from the fact that I just said that, I think Golden Guardians are one of the weakest teams. I think TL and should comfortably win this. I think Golden Guardians kind of suck. And Team Liquid just need to not play stupid. They need to learn from the fact that when they try and play like a 2019-2020 G2, they're just not good enough to perform it. And they need to try and play proper League of Legends. They'll comfortably walk this league, I think. I think if they stop being stupid, they'll walk the league. But then they haven't learned in a split in a bit, so who fucking knows? FlyQuest TSM, I think FlyQuest should win this. Who knows what TSM are doing? I think if they played Shen Yi, TSM would win this, because big up my boy. But no, I think FlyQuest should win this fairly comfortably. I see no world in which TSM win this unless they get really lucky and it's just a fucking NA shit show. But well, who knows? Who knows? CLG 100 Thieves is a really hard one for me. 100 Thieves are more in form, and that's probably what's making me think more like they are gonna win. But CLG have been showing me a lot of good stuff, and I really like watching them play. But like, I don't think they're quite on that level. And I think 100 Thieves with their form should just beat CLG. Like, if we look at last week, CLG lost both their games. I mean, admittedly hard games, but 100 Thieves won both their games. Admittedly, one of them was against Immortals. So it's kind of hard to judge on the form, but I think 100 Thieves are just slightly favoured. But it's very hard to guess. I need to stop saying But yeah, I think 100 Thieves are the stronger team. I think 100 Thieves are going to win this game. EGTL, I think TL haven't learned their lesson, and so EG are going to win. That's pretty much my only real reasoning. I think TL are actually the better side, but like, if you can't learn your lesson, how the fuck do you expect to win a game? So yeah, I think TL win. I think TL lose. Sorry. C9 Immortals suck, so C9 win. GG versus Dig. I think GG are just slightly better. I think the Guardians look pretty decent. I like Pride Stalker as a player. I like the Golden Guardians roster. If they get rid of Stixin, just replace them with a decent AD carry that isn't lost. So yeah, I think Golden Guardians win this. I think there is a world in which Dig win because Maple. Oh, sorry, I don't know why I keep saying Maple instead of River. I don't know. Whatever. I think there's very little chance of Dig winning this game. I think Dig probably just get slaughtered, in all honesty, even though the Golden Guardians aren't that great. But yeah, that's the games for this week. I'll just quickly show you my percentages for these leagues. 75% in both so far. It's probably going to continue or get worse. I have zero confidence in some of my predictions, particularly the GT ones. And the TSM and the TL ones, but you know, we'll see what happens. It can't get to LPL levels yet. If you've enjoyed the video, feel free to like it, and I'll see you for the next one.